We live now, huh? How y'all doing? King Kevin in the building. Get ready to do this thing. Perfect. We about to do this thing. All right. Hey, what's up? What's up? Purple Goddess, what's going on? We about to go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So, what's popping, y'all? I know it's Friday morning. You know, so early TGIF. And stream. We live now. What's up, y'all? King Kevin in the building. Early TGIF to everybody who's tuned in late night. I decided to go live late tonight because I know many of you guys are not doing anything but watching shows and movies, or hopefully reading a good book. And definitely a advocate for reading and instead of entertainment. So today's topic is going to be one that's going to be somewhat serious, and hopefully I make a few jokes in the meantime or in between. Now, today's topic is entitled Save a Black Life. So Save a Black Life is pretty much about, well, Save a Black Life Challenge is pretty much about saving a life within the black community. I know right now we're in election season, and you know, tomorrow, October 30th, or today, October 30th, Friday, is the last day for early voting. So if you're going to vote, you may want to go out there and participate in the last day of voting. And for those of you who don't know, when you're voting for the president, for the next president, could be Trump, could be Biden. I personally think Biden's going to win. Not that I will vote for Biden, but Trump, you know, he messed up horribly during the COVID situation, and he said that he wouldn't do anything different, which means that everything he did was perfect, which we all know is not the truth. There's definitely many things that he should have done a little differently. Being a leader of a big nation of America, definitely should have shut down everything much sooner. Hopefully we could have, you know, stopped the spread of the disease of the virus sooner rather than later. I don't know how many cases they have now of COVID. I think it's somewhere in the millions at this point in time. Hey, Heart of Stewart, Immaculate, Purple Goddess, how y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in. All my people on Instagram checking me out, and YouTube and Facebook. You know what's going on with you. So I definitely wanted to just discuss the state of the black emergency, state of the black America, which is in a state of emergency. Dr. Dre said a few things recently and a few videos and interviews that he did. So kudos to Ice Cube, and I definitely agree with him on that. It doesn't matter who you choose or who you vote for. It's not going to help much when it comes to the election.
The one on Instagram.
Yeah. So, because no matter how you look at it, they're not going to save us. We have to save ourselves. And unfortunately, we still think that the white man is going to save us. That was a mistake of our ancestors, and it continues to be a mistake that we're going to repeat if we continue along the same path that we're in right now. Because our saving our community is going to be up to us. Whether we like it or not, that's something that's going to be up to us. We have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And as you can see from the beginning of us being here in this country, African Americans, Africans from different places, whether you're from Haiti, like my ancestors, Bahamas, Jamaica, wherever, black people has always been treated as trash, always been treated second-rate citizens, because they've stated this countless times, whether it's from these racists from South Africa, racists, within the White House, the presidents, first few presidents, well, maybe first 10, 15 presidents had slaves. So some of them had hundreds. Commercial for, politics. I know you guys tired of getting all these text messages and random phone calls from these politicians. But back to what I was saying. It seems as if no matter what or who we have in the White House, it's never going to be for our benefit. It's always going to be to our detriment, which has been the history of black people in America. And what bothers me the most isn't the fact that we aren't voting, is the fact that those who are voting actually think that our votes is what puts the person, as the president in the White House, when actually it's the Electoral College that selects the president. We don't do that. We may choose the senators and the congressmen and women, House reps, may vote for a few judges, local sheriffs. When it comes to the president, it's not really up to us, But when we do vote for the president, just for those who don't know, when we do vote and the president wins, he or she, which has been he, 99.9% of the time, a male, all white except for President Obama, who was half white, which is another very interesting, topic for discussion. But they always know who supports them, who support their campaigns. So if we're not putting money into their campaigns, then they understand where and who they're going to support when it comes time to push certain things into legislation, to get their support. Case in point, the LGBT, or am I saying that right? The lesbian gay community, they was heavily behind President Obama. Heavily. And guess what happened? They got all these laws and things passed on their behalf, even transgenders, to the point where President Obama, to surprise of many of you all, he supported the transgender bathroom, or where someone who's gay can be in whichever bathroom they want to be in, whether it be male or female, which is disturbing. You look at, and I'm not saying the books in the schools is his fault, but they've been pushed, books about gays and lesbians into the curriculum to where the kids have to study this. So they're brainwashing our children, and we're getting mad about it, right? But we never forced President Obama to do anything for the black community. So this is the same thing's gonna happen to Trump and Biden. We don't force their hand like Ice Cube was doing. He caught a lot of backlash because of it. But the fact of the matter is that at least he was doing something, trying to push some sort of agenda to Trump. And I don't know if he spoke to Biden or not. Now, I'm not saying that he's a sellout. There's been many sellouts, black sellouts within the black community. I can name 5 right now, top of my head, which I'm going to make a video about. That's going to be pretty deep. But for starters, Daniel Cameron, we seen what happened with Breonna Taylor. They came in, no knock warrant, just come in, smashing the door, and killed her. I think they shot her like 8-10 times, some ridiculous amount. We see what happened, Candace Owens, She's definitely bootlicking President Trump's boot and ass, unfortunately. And she's getting paid, quite a bit for it. She's very popular on social media, has a huge podcast, highly intelligent black woman who is black in skin but white in spirit, which I would call a black European. And no shade to my black folks out there, in the UK. I got love for y'all up there in London. London always show me love when I go to London. And some people even consider Nelson Mandela as a sellout, which I agree as well, which is not top of the story, but let me just say this since I put it out there. When you have a black man or woman put into a position of power and your actions aren't protecting the black community or for the benefit of the black community, then obviously they're not there for the black agenda. They're there for the white agenda. They are there just to be put as puppets, faces of power, while white supremacy continues running the games and tricks. So that definitely happened in South Africa with apartheid, and we can talk about that a whole nother time. But I definitely acknowledge his legacy and the great things he did. Great things I would like to have seen him done while he was alive. Moving forward, you have people like Colin Powell, educated, highly educated, high-ranking general in the U.S. Army. But guess what he did when he got put into power? He was led to go bomb and attack countries in Africa. So even though we discuss being educated or seeking education, it isn't always to the benefit of the black community. Black folks history shows, we're educated not to solve our problems, but to solve white people problems. You feel me? Or to get educated, get money, get the good corporate job, corporate slave, and move out the hood and go live in the suburbs and acting like your dookie don't stink anymore. And so that's going to happen when the education isn't Afrocentric. What I mean by that is when African culture, which is more than just wearing fancy clothes or eating certain types of ethnic food, African culture is about, in Afrocentric education, about having African culture in the center of education. Everybody else is outside of that circle. We're the focal point. So we're not being educated for that. And why is that a big deal? And why am I saying that? Because when that's the issue, when that is the situation, obviously what we're in right now, that means that when we do get money, look at these celebrities, we do get educated. We go out, black men, we go get a white girl. We go ahead and get a Hispanic girl. Look what's going on with Jeezy, Michael Jordan, just to name a couple of them. We don't see that when we're not building within the black community, getting educated to benefit the black community. Not saying that, we got to hate any other culture, because that's just too much energy. Hatred, it takes a lot less energy to love and like people than it does to hate them. And that's what we're seeing right now. You know what I'm saying? When you're caught up in the whole racist rhetoric that's happening, that's been happening, especially now with the political situation. But back to the education, when we're not educated to acknowledge your African culture, acknowledge your black people, acknowledge our ancestors, you're going to work and work towards destroying, not knowing the black community. Look at our black women on welfare, or child support rather, right? Child support, for some reason, it's almost like an extension of the Willie Lynch, right? You use the black woman to go against the black man, divide and conquer. And when we have our women on welfare, on child support, and they're forced to, not even forced, but they willingly put the father on child support, even though in many cases the father is right there supporting the children. He's paying for the daycare, he's paying for the diapers, paying for the clothes, but still has to be put on child support. And if he doesn't have a job, look at the situation we're in right now in Black America. Barely people aren't really working right now. Many of us home. Like if many of you guys were home, had a job, you'd be home sleeping, getting that good Z, getting to work in the morning. But no, you're live on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram, checking me out, which I do appreciate it. You're doing something productive with your time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have several issues within the Black community that I truly believe needs to be discussed and should be paid attention to. I'm trying to get this lighting here going. One of my big lights went off in the back. We have a situation where we have countless of Black children committing suicide. In some cities, every year, like DC, nearly 100,000 Black kids go missing a year. 50 to 100,000 a year. We have sex trafficking. We have the school to prison pipeline situation, where we only 30% of the U.S. population, but then we have nearly 40% of the prison population are Black. If you guys didn't know that, which is obviously a huge problem. We have the suicide rate within the Black community, particularly amongst our Black youth. And I'm going to read some stats to you guys. And if you didn't know, I just want you guys to be aware of what's happening with our children while we're focused on the politics, COVID-19. But when it comes to the Black kids, from 2016 to 2018, from the ages of 5 to 11, Black children had the highest rate of death by suicide. And I spoke to a couple of friends of mine, and they telling me they never knew about that. They never heard about it. And until they go do some research and read about it in the news, and be like, wow, 5 to 11. Why is that our babies 5 to 11? The only thing you should be thinking about is chocolate milk, cartoons, getting your homework done, and doing your little chores. But these kids are hanging themselves. From 2008 to 2012, 59 Black youth died by suicide. Let me repeat that again. From 2008, so it's 4 years, 2008 to 2012, 59 Black youth died by suicide, up from 54 in the previous years, 2003, 2007. 2015, compared to non-Hispanic white boys, Black high school age boys are more likely to have made serious suicide attempts that require medical attention. So what is happening to Things Black Sheep? Rapper XXX is a testament to that. Appreciate the commentary. What is happening to the psychology of our Black males and women and girls who want to kill themselves at such young ages? You're talking, what was that, 2018? Mackenzie Adams, young 9-year-old girl in Alabama, killed herself by hanging because she was being bullied at her school, which is predominantly a white school in Alabama. 4th grader hangs herself, even though she told the principal and the teacher she's being bullied all school year. Right before Christmas, I believe it was December 9th. Rest in peace, by the way, as well, young lady. She wanted to be a scientist, and she goes and kills herself. And that, like, I can't even fathom what the parents or family went through when they realized it. And parents, if the children are telling you they're being bullied, don't just laugh it off or tell them to go fight back. And maybe they don't want to fight. Maybe they can't fight. Especially if you haven't taught them to fight, they're not going to fight. To go grab a belt or rope and hang themselves, I mean, to me, it's highly disturbing. And I have a very strong stomach. I've seen many ugly things. I've seen people get shot. I've seen people get killed. But for me to watch a child do that, I mean, I just can't sit back and don't say anything. And again, for those who are tuning in, this is the Save a Black Life Challenge. Another case, Gabriel Reynolds, handsome young little boy, 8 years old, 2017, commits suicide in Cincinnati. and the school tried to cover it up. Even though the boy reported it to the school, they seen on camera that these kids knocked him out in the bathroom, and nothing was done, and he goes and kills himself. Bryce Gowdy, those from Deerfield, South Florida, you're very familiar with this case. 18-year-old young man from my hometown, well, actually my home school, which is Deerfield Beach High, number 7. He was supposed to sign with Georgia Tech to play football. He should be playing football right now. All-star athlete. He commits suicide. You know, he walks in front of a train. Has a whole world in front of him. And I think that case needs to be looked into. I don't think he jumped from the train. I think there's something a lot more going on with that case. But that's what the news is telling us. He walked in front of a train. Calvin Desir, 16 years old, from Parkland. You guys remember Parkland shooting in Stoneman Douglas, where the guy, crazy man came there shooting up the students and teachers with an AR-15. I mean, the young boy who came and did that. There's a boy, one of the guys, Calvin Desir. I think he's Haitian because his last name is Desir. I have a cousin named last name Desir. He commits suicide a month, after the whole incident. I mean, so I'm bringing these things up is because it seems as if our youth are lacking the fortitude to stand up and stay strong. They're not mentally strong. They're lacking the foundation or the fundamental things that helps us go over or overcome, the word I'm looking for, overcome challenges in life. Now, could it be what they're watching? Could it be the food they're eating? Dr. Amos Wilson talks a lot about, not Amos Wilson, but Dr. Umar Johnson, let me say this, Dr. Amos Wilson predates Dr. Umar Johnson, maybe about 20 years. He's another black psychologist. As a matter of fact, he wrote a book that I have in my hand here. I do have it signed, Black on Black Violence, the Psychodynamics of Black Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination. Powerful book, groundbreaking, classic read. If you're a teacher or you're involved in law enforcement, you're a parent, you might want to jump on and check out this book. Very powerful book. I actually have it autographed. It's one of my most prized books, and no, it's not for sale. Probably never sell it. But Dr. Umar Johnson, who also has a book, I don't have it in front of me here, but it's in my bookcase, dealing with the ADHD. How the foods that they're giving our children is actually killing them or preparing them to lose their minds. They're labeling our kids retarded, slow learners, so that the schools can make money. Because each child is a case. Each child is worth a couple $1,000s each year. So there's incentives for the schools to label these children as retarded, as slow learners. And these drugs are causing them not to be able to function with all of their billions of brain cells, right? So they're doing stupid things. They're not acting rationally, and it's setting them up to go to prison. So which is the school to prison pipeline. Which one of these, and I haven't heard any of these presidents, running for president, Trump or Biden, discuss anything dealing with the school to prison pipeline within the black community. So they literally setting us up, sheep to the slaughter, to be killed. And they set it up from elementary, which, by the way, from the 3rd grade, if you're not reading by a certain grade level, by the 3rd grade, if your reading level isn't there, they already know the chances you're going to prison is very high, or your children going to prison is very high. If your child is in 3rd grade, he's reading on the 1st, 2nd grade level. If there's 100,000 black young girls and boys reading like that, or whatever culture there is, they're going to build 100,000 beds, getting ready for them. The prison industrialization complex is a huge issue that, guess who's supporting this whole initiative? Guess who keeps this thriving? It's black folks. Our lack, our loss, our depravity is funding this country. our criminality that they've set us up in. You know, not that, you know, we're born criminals. They want us to think that we're born criminals and we're savages. They want us to think that. And then they want society to think that. That's why they push that narrative within the news all the time. Because when we are maladaptive, they're going to control our future. Whoever controls your present controls your future. If you guys didn't know that. All right, let me repeat it again. Whoever controls your present controls your future. So if you don't have control of your future, then who does? They're not talking about the suicide rate within the black community. They're not talking about the mental health issues within the black community. They're not talking about the school to prison pipeline within the black community. But we're sitting here thinking that, you know, okay, here goes white Jesus going to save us. No, we have to save ourselves. Is exactly what I'm saying. And the reason why I'm bringing these things up, as many of you all know, and speaking of Dr. Emmons Wilson, we started this Black on Black Crime Solutions panel back in 2015. Right? 2000, was it 14 and 6? Because 2020 made our 6th year. You know, which we just had, we hosted an event, what, it was a week ago, mid-October, our 6th annual Black on Black Crime Solutions panel. And thank you all for everybody who have supported. As a matter of fact, my GoFundMe and my Cash App is, you know, if you do Cash App me any money at Courage to Believe, that's number 2, the $ at Courage to Believe. Please mark, if you're making a donation, please mark this is for Save Black Life Challenge, Save a Black Life Challenge, you know. And I challenge you all, not just to listen to what I'm saying and give me claps or thumbs ups and all that good stuff, which I do appreciate you checking me out. But we are really doing something, trying to do something, you know. I may not have, well, our nonprofit Courage to Believe International may not have millions of dollars or 100,000 subscribers, you know, like the Million Man March. This is a shirt from the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. You know, I was there in D.C., by the way. That's why I got this shirt. So I'm happy, and I put this shirt on because I wasn't even planning to, you know, wear it for this video, but I just happened to see it and I put it on. So that was good. That was a good feel good type of event, you know. As black people, we are literally caught up in feeling good all the time about X, Y, Z. We have to get beyond feeling good to actually doing something so we can be good financially. Economic freedom is going to be our only way. Whether it be reparations, they give us land, or some sort of grants for people who are actually doing something in, you know, in the trenches. I'm a frontline soldier. I'm not one of these paper soldiers that's talking good and texting good and making things look all pretty and fine on social media so I can get thousands of likes and comments and shares. I'm a frontline soldier. I'm the one who's willing to put in the work. I was willing to put in the work when I was out in the streets slanging dope. I committed a couple robberies, I ain't gonna lie. You know, and I had a lot of fun, you know, living on the streets and doing my thing back then, you know, in my 20s. You know, well, late teens, early 20s. But a lot of my friends, they're in prison, serving life. Some of them dead, they're in the cemetery. But I was able to, many years ago, acknowledge that if I don't change, I'm going to end up like the people who were before me, or where my friends are right now. So we're doing our best to do something about it, that's why we started the Rosette Pierre Creative Arts Center. And the GoFundMe, you see the link on my website, kevindorival.com. You'll see it on the description of this video, whether you watch it on YouTube or Facebook. This is something real. It's not, you know, it's not something that we're doing just so we can feel good. We got to get out of that feel good mentality. Because the only way we ever going to do what Shaka Zulu was able to do for the Zulu nation. Do what Marcus Garvey was able to do with UNIA, you know, around the world. We'll have to do what Martin Luther King was able to do, you know, back, you know, in the 50s and 60s with the civil rights era. We'll have to do what Nat Turner did up in Virginia. You know, a little side joke, I was in Virginia last year for the first time. Those who don't know who Nat Turner is, Nat Turner is the former African man, enslaved African American who started a rebellion in Virginia, right? So I was in Virginia last year, and when I was there, knowing this history, so whenever I went to a white restaurant, I was like, "Hey, you guys have Nat Turner burgers?" So the white folks, they didn't find that too funny, but me knowing the history and being proud of that history, I think it's important that we share that information with our children. Do what Toussaint Louverture did in Haiti. The first successful slave rebellion that turned to a state. The second democratic republic in the Western Hemisphere. Powerful. That's powerful history. And just to go a little more details of the Rosette Pierre, which is, by the way, that's named my mom. My mom is Rosette Pierre. The Rosette Pierre Creative Arts Center is not just going to be an art center, it's going to be actually be a museum. And this museum is going to be groundbreaking because we're going to be teaching the kids how to write their own books, right? Publish their own books, market their own books. They're going to get corporations where they have their own businesses. So at least they'll have that business mindset. Many of them may not take it that seriously. Oh, this is cute. We want to go to the field trip anyway, and we're going to do whatever, Mr. Dorival or the teachers tell us to do because, we like this building. We like going to these trips. We like the free food. But some of them is going to realize this is my only chance out the ghetto. This is my opportunity out the hood. And that's what we're doing. They're going to learn how to write their own movie scripts, film scripts. They're going to learn how to produce their own documentaries and create their own movies and how the whole process goes, editing, the whole nine. They're also going to learn how to cook healthily anyway, culinary arts. We're going to mix arts and math, art and science, art and history. We're mixing all of that together. It's called integration education. It's one of the phrases teachers use. This game plan is in action right now. Even though we only have a few dollars donated, but trust me, it's going to pick up tremendously because I have a few people in our corner that's just working out some kinks that's going to contribute a significant amount of money. I would love y'all support in order for us not just to save one black life. We want to save a whole community. We want to save the future of the black community. Because as things possibly get worse with the COVID-19, who knows how that's going to end up. The experts are saying things will be quote unquote back to normal in 2022. What's that going to do? What does that mean for the black community though? You guys don't get it that we're going to get the brunt. We're going to get the burnt piece of toast. We're going to get the short end of the stick in this situation, as we always have been since the beginning of time. They promised us 40 acres of a mule. That never happened. They promised us we're going to stop the war on drugs, which the war on drugs started before there was even a crack epidemic. And it's really a war on black men. It shouldn't just be one King Kevin. It should be thousands of young men like me going after doing their thing, starting their own businesses. And I just wanted to share these things with you guys this late night. I know it's like 1:15 in the morning. I'm always up 2, 3 in the morning anyway. Sometimes 5 in the morning, grinding, working. And I do appreciate you guys' time, tuning in, listening. Those of you who share this video, I do appreciate it. Please share it, comment. Love to hear what you got to say. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything that I've said here. Anything. And one of the biggest subjects I didn't even talk about was the abortion. That's the abortions going on within the black community itself. We're not only being killed by the police, we're killing each other, and then our black women being left alone are killing our babies, which is the future of the black community. And that's just here in the U.S. Who knows how bad things are in the Caribbean island or in different countries throughout Africa. We need to do something, and we need to wake up. Continue posting, 5 different look challenge. But I challenge you guys, save a black life. That's the real challenge. And you may not want to support our organization, Courage to Believe International, which we are, 501c3. All donations are tax deductible. You got to pay your tax bill anyway. Why not support and donate to us? Why not? Look at the resume. Look at the track record. Look at what we've been doing and have been doing for the past 5 years with the C2B Chess Club Mentoring Program, with the Black on Black Crime Solutions Panel, the volunteering, the passion. That's what needs to be done. And yes, we do have $1 million fundraiser with the Rosette Pierre Creative Arts Center, but most of that money will come from grants and investors. But I just want you guys to know that I'm not going nowhere, and I'm not going to quit. Y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and enjoy the weekend. Peace.